right, joining me now is Mike Huckabee, former Arkansas governor, Fox News contributor, along with Harmeet Dhillon, attorney, Trump 2020 advisory board member. Governor, you led your state through disasters. How would you rate Trump's performance so far, objectively, Governor?
Well, you know, I think that there were a few moments in his press conference last night where he may have given a typical Trump answer. He said it could have been better, could have been worse, and that caused some people to go nuts. But the truth is he's done exactly what he should do. He's appointed top health professionals, given Mike Pence the opportunity to coordinate it, but there's a great team working on this, and the fact is, in a nation of over 330 million people, we have 60 people who have the coronavirus. So it's not exactly a pandemic yet. It could be one. We don't want it to be. We're going to do everything possible. I think the president's done exactly right. But let me tell you something. Laura, he could personally suck the virus out of every one of the 60,000 people in the world and suck it out of their lungs, swim to the bottom of the ocean and spit it out, and he would be accused of pollution for messing up the ocean if he did that. There's nothing this president can do that will ever satisfy the people who hate him more than they hate the coronavirus.
Harmeet, tonight CNN's Chris Cuomo tried to draw some type of comparison with 9/11.
One of the lessons that we learned from back then of those heroes was what? At the time they were told, you'll be fine. You do the work down there, it's going to be fine. The air quality's fine. The information matters. People like those first responders, they deserve to know what the realities are in the world around them. And here we are once again dealing with the fear of the unknown.
Harmeet.
Well, of course, we are seeing this outrageous demagoguery from the left. That's what they do. They are infected with the Trump derangement syndrome virus. And I thought I would never see the day, though, Laura, that we'd see the left, including the media, cheering for a disease to take over America and fear-mongering the way that they are. I think it's really irresponsible. In reality, I think there were 40 million Americans who got the flu last year. Over 40,000 of them approximately died. You know, that is the normal baseline. And so far, as the governor said, we're not seeing an explosion like we have in other countries where they have totally different conditions.
Yeah, I mean, wash your hands a lot and wipe surfaces down when you can. That's and use best practices. That is how we all are always supposed to be.
That's right. Exactly.
And maybe this is a good reminder for everyone. Governor, this was a hilarious moment, hilarious and annoying and revealing at the same time. Historian John Meacham, watch.
My greatest anxiety, aside from the impact of the virus itself, is we're living in an age of xenophobia. It is not impossible to imagine a scenario where blame is cast on some country or group of people.
So apparently we can't learn anything about how China handled this. We can't ever talk about China. I mean, my God, these people will go over, they will just fall all over themselves to defend China. I've never seen anything like this. That's scapegoating anyone, but we need to know how this thing got out and who was patient zero. We still don't know that. And we're supposed to not know whether certain populations are more vulnerable or not to this? What is he talking about? Pulitzer Prize winner, I might add, and he's a great writer.
Well, they ought to take his prize back. And he was a great writer. But when he says stuff like this, it's despicable.
He is a great writer,
and it's
but
nonsensical.
He's wrong on this. Yeah.
Well, he's totally wrong. You know, one of the things that we're dealing with right now is that there are people looking for a vaccine. The Israelis say they're weeks away from having a vaccine. I want to find out when the left finds out that Israel has developed a vaccine, are they going to lift their BDS movement? What about that? Maybe all the people on the left will not be able to take the vaccine because, God forbid, they'd get something from the nation of Israel. That's how crazy these people are. We've got to keep it in perspective, give the president, and most of all, give these medical professionals time, and the decisions mostly will be made at the local and state level to react to whether or not there's a genuine threat.
All right, Governor Harmeet, thank you so much tonight.